Hey yo, welcome back again to Believers Records, the show where we drop your heat every 4 times of the week. Now in today's video, I'll be teaching you guys on how to mix beat using FL plugins. Now, what I'm gonna show you right now is basically that you can actually make your beat or your mix sound nice without all this fancy stuff. There's a lot of people believe that you need fancy, fancy plugins, you need waves, maybe Slate Digital, all that stuff. I'm not saying that stuff. I'm not saying it's bad, but you can actually achieve close to what that can achieve using FL plugins. So in today's video, I'm gonna be covering how to do that using this beat that I just made. It's a trap beat. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play just a little bit of it, so you can just hear it. So yeah, man, that's a beat. I just made the beat before I started making this video. It's a trap beat. It's something nice, to be honest. So let's get started with the agenda. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna come here and just route everything to the mixer. So I'm gonna come here, just take everything here. Wait, just give me a minute. Let me I don't know, actually check this. Actually, I don't need this, so I'm gonna remove it. So I'm gonna just come here, route everything to the mixer, starting from this track. If you ever get caught in this, just come here and route everything, selected channels starting from this track. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So the moment you hit that, it just routes everything to the mixer. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna do the gain staging. So before I actually even start thinking about coming here to the mixer and doing something, I can already tell like some of these drums, they're already too high. The piano, everything is just above. So what we have to do now right now first, just get a nice balance, and then now we can get to the mixer. So let's do that first. So I'm gonna come. So in my mix, before I actually do anything, I know a lot of people have, everyone has their own, ways, or should I call it strategy, on how you approach the mix. But for me, I always like to get started with the drums. So I start with the drums, then I go to the bass, then I go to the instruments. So in this case here, I'm gonna start with the drums. I'm gonna start with the kick and snare, then I'm gonna go to the piano, such, in that order. So let's start with the drums. All right. Let's get started with the kick. Let's just listen to the kick itself. So it's a kick. Actually, this is from the before. I know this is not really necessary. This is from the Believers Records, Trap House drum kit. Be sure to actually get that drum kit. It's fire. So let's get started. So kick is right. So let's just get it. Alright, that sounds nice to me. I wanted to kind of hit at the same time, punch, to actually punch, but at the same time not too much. All right, that's good with me. Let's start with the other snare here. I have 2 snares, so start with it. All right. All right. Oh, this is the second snare. I know I'm not saying anything. Sorry for that. This is the second snare. I told you to like 2 snares here, so I already kind of balanced the other snare. So let's do this other one. So let's see. Kind of here. All right. That's decent. So let me just tell you something. There's a method that I like to use using when it comes to trap beats. I don't have one mixing strategy for every type of beat. So for this type of beat, what I like to do is I like to go to the mixer and just put a limiter. So I want to know how it's gonna sound. I just want to get an idea of how it's gonna sound when I'm actually done with the mix. So I want to know how much that kick is gonna punch in, how that snare is gonna punch, how that snare is gonna hit. Sorry. So I just want to get an idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and load up. Sorry, I'll load up the limiter. So let me just get the limiter. All right. You know what? I'm actually kind of cheating a little bit. I said I'm gonna use FLP plugins, and here I want to go for waves. So let's just do that. So let's use this. All right. So now let's balance. All right, sound good to me here. 15 dB. All right, let's do the hi-hats. Actually, what I like is every time I'm mixing a trap beat, what I like is I like my snares to actually just complement the beat. I don't want the snares to be right there on your face. So I want them to be there, but at the same time, at the back push to the back, just making the beat sound a little bit just complementing the whole thing, the whole mix, if I rather say. So let's see. I don't want it to be on your face. Somewhere there. Alright, let's put the 808. Sorry, the 808. I like my 808s punchy. The hitter. Alright. That sounds good to me. So next is let's mix the instrument. So let's do that. So I'm gonna loop here. So I want to loop here first, where I can hear the piano and the drums together without the other instruments, because I want to get a nice level between the piano and the drums. Sorry, I like the balancing in that. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add, I think it was a, I don't know, I don't remember what this was. I don't know what type of instrument this was. It was a plug. Yeah, it was a plug. So let's add the plug. No, it's kind of high. Let me take it down a little. So let me just say something before we actually go further. The reason why gain staging is important right now is because you can see here right now. Let me, as I play here, you can see. You can see like it's kind of going down. So you don't want to have this all red before you actually start mixing. This is really bad. So you don't want to have this all the way up to here. It's already going red, you know, and stuff. It's above the threshold and stuff. Then you want to go back and pump it up again in the mixer. That's not good. That's what actually ends up, you know, being a bad mix, because you didn't get it right. So you got to get it right here first. So you know what? I'm actually gonna pull this down a little bit. Let's get back here a little bit. I'm gonna let the 808. All right. Sorry. All right, so all right, so yeah, so I think that's nice. That's decent. So let's jump on the other. So all right, the 808. All right, let's see this. Let's see how this looks without the limiter. So let's try that. You can see, like, you know, it's all the way down. You can just see for yourself. So if you haven't, if you haven't actually, got it, if you didn't get it right, so even without the mixer, you can just see it go all the way up here, just all the way just in the red zone. You don't want to have that. So if you actually do that, then you actually proceed to the mixer and start pumping it up with other things. It's going to lead to a bad mix because you didn't get it right in the first stage. So you got to get it right in the first stage, and that's the gaining stage. So you got to get it right here. So let's get back to it. All right, let's see how this looks like in terms of See, I'm not in a bad place here. I'm around 9. You don't want your mix to be the threshold to be maybe on 3, maybe even close to like 0, and you haven't even put the limiter yet. That's bad. So that means some of the things are just loud, and you just have to go back there, just check it out and just lower down some of the things because you didn't get it right in the balancing. So let's get it right back. Let's see how this looks with the. All right, let's put the other. So yeah, so that's it for here. So sorry, there's one more instrument. There's a pad here. Forgot about this pad. So now that's a gaining stage. So now I have to see whether everything is right here in the mixer. So what you do is before you actually start doing that, you just come here and change everything to mono. So you change this to mono. So that's how you balance out in the mixer. Because you can't balance in stereo because it's just not realistic, Everything that you do has to go back to being realistic because your ear is realistic and everything just came out. Everything back in the day used to be mono, so you just have to balance in mono so you can actually get a nice balance. So that way, what's loud, what's too loud, you can just take it down in the mixer, And now after that, you can start doing the processing and all that stuff. So let's just do that. So I can already tell the plug is already kind of too loud in here. So take it down. So what we're gonna do next is now we can start doing the processing. Now that everything is actually balanced out, nicely. So what we're gonna do next is start putting in, start doing the processing. And that means putting in the some plugins. So what I'm gonna do first is, you remember what I told you in the gaining stage? I started with the drums. Now what I like to do is when it comes to the mixer and the processing, I like to start with the instruments. So I'm gonna start with the piano. This piano right here. All right. All right. Let's put an EQ. It's your choice. You can use the whatever. Sorry, you can use this parametric EQ, or you can use the other one. There's a graphic EQ, but I rather use this one. So let's get started. So yeah, color. You don't wanna make your sound thin, So you gotta be careful with that. All right, I think I'm good right about here. What about 152 hertz? It should be okay for. All right. So now let's add, let's add it up a little bit on the 5K. I want to bring up some of the harmonics in the 5K. So you want to add up in the 5K. So I'm gonna raise it up in the 5K. Position it. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna keep going back until like where I feel like it's good enough. You might raise it too much to frequencies that are kind of harsh. So you got to be careful. So every piano has its own characteristics. So you can't mix every piano the same way, but still applies the same same basic concept. But you just have to use your ear. So. So sound good right about that. Let's hear this. So there's another trick you can actually use. So as you're raising this, you realize that you're still raising the volume of this thing. So what you can do is you can go back to the whatever. You can go back to the gaining stage. I'm just saying, man, this is my method. So obviously the levels have gone up a little bit, so I don't want to take it down on the EQ. I know there's a volume, there's a place for the volume on the EQ, but I don't want to use that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back here. Take it back to mono. Start looking for the harsh frequencies, you know, around. So what you can do next is you can use the soft, you know, clipper to add, you know, more harmonics, or maybe should I say realistic? Because you know, this thing about making your sound, making your mix sound more analog, and I think the soft, you know, clipper does that. So let's go ahead and add it. Now how to use a soft clipper. So let's go ahead and mix this. All right, let's see. So it's playing around 20, 23, 22 there. So let's do that again. Yeah, so what you can do first is threshold down. Sorry for that. Not too much. Just position. Without the soft clipper. You know, it has something, you know. It's there, it's a little bit, but you know, it's something, you know. It's something. Alright. Then what I'm gonna do next is so what we can do now is, you know, compress it. So what I'm gonna do is I know I never said this. I'm gonna make a bus. So I want to bus the main instrument, that's the piano, and the plug. So I want to bus them together. You know what? Let's actually bus the piano, the pad, and the plug. So I'm gonna make a bus here. Just name it bus. Instruments. Sorry, what just happened? Then change its color to something like that. So let's just route this to the bus. So, and every time you route it, just make sure you route it to this track only. Because if you say route it to this track, you just every time you route it again, you just be duplicating. So make sure you route it. You make sure you take this option, route it to this track only. So route it there. Then so the thing is, instead of me actually compressing, compressing the piano, then I come back and compress the plug, then I come back and compress the pad. What I can do is I can just compress them all together. That just makes everything more easy for me, and time. It's not time consuming, so I can just compress them together and just glue them all together if I want to glue them. So let's do that. Let's take this to its own, pattern. I'm saying like it's stuck with the drum, so I'm gonna cut this, put in another pattern. Paste here. Now I can just come and put it right here. All right. So now let's work on that plug. So I'm gonna come back here. All right, so now let's cut it. Let's EQ this. So let's make the piano silent. Remember what I told you. You don't want to make your sound. Yeah, you don't want to make your instruments sound thin. All right. So let's add more. Let's raise it up a little bit. So when you add in more harmonics or whatever you're trying to do, just make sure you don't add it too much. Once you add it too much, you start making the sound, sharper and stuff. So I hear that's too sharp. That's too much. So rather. All right, I'd rather have it there. All right. So now let's remember what I told you. If you raise it, you're affecting the volume as well. So I think I'm gonna go back to see this. I realized like that wasn't the whatever, that was a pad. Sorry for that. This is a plug. loud for me. A little bit too loud. Just a little bit. Just a little bit too loud. That's good enough. All right, let's put a soft clip on this. All right. Round 24. Let's route it to the bus. All right, this one. Let's work on the pad. Alright, sorry, where's the pad? Oh, it's here. Sorry, I didn't name it. Bad manners. I should name my stuff. Should always name your mix, you know, in case you actually get confused sometimes, you know, put maybe something that you're not supposed to put there. Maybe put an EQ or something to a place where it's not supposed to go. So let's work on this. And always, let me just say something. It's not really necessary sometimes, you know, to EQ stuff. You know, sometimes, you know, before you actually do something, just listen to the whole mix and just decide whether something needs an EQ. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. You know, you never know. Don't just put stuff for the sake of putting it. So I think that's what you should do. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that first. I feel like it's good at that level. So let's go ahead and put a soft clip on this. All right, so on 24. All right, so let's go ahead and just route this to the bus. So everything is routed to the bus. So what we want to do is we want to compress it. So take the further compressor. So yeah, that's it. I always play around, 2-to-1 ratio. This is not a lesson about me teaching you what about threshold, ratio, or gain, or attack, or release, or type, or what that means. So maybe if I have time, I'll make a video for that. But for right now, just know I don't go more than more than 2-to-1, most maybe 3-to-1. That's why I usually play. So what we're gonna do first is compress this. We're gonna compress them all together. Then we're gonna glue them all together. So let's do that without the drums. See how they play. So it's around 2021. You see that? 21. Let's compress this. So too much. Alright. Alright. So let's recover what we just lost right now. Using the gain. It's back. Maybe a little too much. Maybe just wait. Maybe we compress a little too much. Let's do that again. Five. Sorry for this. Alright. So let's recover what we just lost right now. Let's play this without the EQ. Without the compressor. To see, it's playing around 21. So with the compressor. So let's just reduce this. Remember that you want to maintain that balance. So there's no formula to actually maintain that. So just know it. Alright, let's add it up. Yeah, a little bit more. Right now I'm actually using my ears, so you gotta learn how to use your ears as well, not just the whatever. So I think it's good. I think we're actually good right there. So I think we should do the drums, first. Then I'll come include this later. So first, let's start with the 808. Sorry, my hand is getting tired. Let's start with the 808. Alright, let's listen to the 808 alone. Alright. So before we actually EQ the 808, what I like to do is I like to go to the kick and actually see where the kick is hitting. Sorry, where the kick hits, where it's actually hitting, and I'm gonna cut that. So I'm gonna cut that frequency just to give room for the kick. Whenever the kick comes in, it gives room. Sorry, the 808 gives room for the kick. So mostly kicks usually range around, around 120 or maybe 100 going up. 100, below 100, that's the subs, that's mostly for the bass and stuff. But there's also like frequencies for the kick in there. So let's do that. Let's check out the kick. Sorry, where's the kick? So let's see. One of five. We're ranging around 105. 105. Say that again. So let's see, 105. Yeah, so it's ranging to 105 there. So you don't want to give it too much, 2 dB. So I had already done some things on this kick on because it's the Believers records, Trap House Drum Kit. I told you it's already some of the things are already processed. So all you got to do is just a little bit. This is what I was actually talking about when I was talking about the drum kit. So let's get back to it. All right. So now do the 808. Now let's cut it. Let's actually hit it. 105. Right there. Alright, then let's cut some of these. This is just me, if you feel like but I can see already, you know, it's already been done. It's already been done for me. Alright, then I want to add up the subs. I don't want to add too much. Alright, what you want to do and put a soft clipper. Let's see how this goes with everything. I never heard it like in the beginning. I feel like I'm gonna boost up the snare a little bit, you know, just to give it that body a little bit. Let's see how far we are here in the main. C. We still have a good level and everything is still nice up here, so we're good to go. So yeah. Alright. Getting tired. Alright, so let's keep moving forward. So I've already cut the 808, giving room for the kick. So let's compress the whatever. Let's compress the 808. Let's compress it. I was thinking of adding a little bit of, you know, what is it? I'm actually forgetting the wave shaper, but I don't think it's necessary at this point. So, all right. So let's just compress it. Two to one. Let's take it back to recover what we just lost. Just a little bit more. All right. That's it. All right. Let's glue it. All right, I have a preset that I usually have, the Believers Records preset. It's for gluing, you know, in case. I usually have it ready, so I'm gonna just load it up. But it's already doing like some things in here, so but I'm gonna just set it according to what I can see here. Not too much. Then let's put it to like maybe 4. All right. So just to make everything easier for yourself, what I like to do is bust the drums all over again. So let's save this. So I want to bust want to buzz. Sorry, I want to buzz the drums. So I want to buzz the kick, the snare. Sorry, I'm looking for the 808. Alright, so 6. That's what a silent is. Alright. What's going on here? Alright, so the kick is in 4. Alright, let's make a bus right here. This is next here, just for the drums. So let's make the bus. Instruments. And let's change the color for this. Now we already gave it green, so have another color. This. Now this. Bus it here. Alright, now that everything is routed, we can do is we can compress everything. So let's just compress everything at once. Alright. So it's at 12. See that? Too much. Take it back. See that? Hey, reset. Let's see. Let's do this again. I think I'm getting hazy a little bit. Let's see. Right. Just watch this. Just watch this. Use your ears as well. Just watch it. let's see that. All right, let's see everything, how far we are, you know, in the mix. Got the limiter. I actually feel like I'm not gonna glue anything. I'm not gluing anything. I feel like it's right, you know, it's just good the way it is. I don't want to glue anything. Save this. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna start panning. So I'm gonna pan instruments. Everything is in center right now, so panning the instruments. Then I want to pan the drums. I want to make the hi-hats, you know, go left to right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here, pull this, just come here, sign, and come here and link it to the controller. Say yes, accept. Too fast. Slow it down. Put it to, and actually merge it to like 50% mono. So as a bass here, send to mono light. Alright, and that's it. Basically that's it, man. So let's hear the whole thing. So yeah, brothers and sisters, wherever you're watching this from. So that's it for on how to, you know, mix a beat using FL Studio plugins. You can hear the difference, right? You don't really need to do a lot of things. I'm not saying it's really that, you know, but at least you can get closer to that quality as a producer. So yeah, so that's it. I hope you actually learned something. If you learned something, be sure to actually subscribe, and be sure to hit that notification bell, you know, so you can get notified every time I drop you some heat. So that's it. Have a good time. Stay safe.